Hi, everyone. This is Kristen, and this is my presentation for the QAPI project that we conducted throughout this semester. Introduction. My goal was to evaluate hospital food service processes and ensure it met both quality and patient satisfaction standards. My objectives were to monitor food temps, and this would be to assess food tray temperatures at the three stages, so preparation, transport, and serving, just to identify where and how these temperature declines were occurring. It was also to evaluate food delivery timeliness, just observing the efficiency of the food delivery processes, including preparation, serving times, and their impact on tray temperature and just the overall food quality. Also assessing patient satisfaction, so gathering data on patient perceptions of food quality, temperature, and delivery experiences through the surveys, and just analyzing satisfaction levels and IDing patterns in dissatisfaction. So for the literature review, obviously we found 5 different articles, and these are just kind of the highlights. So the importance of hospital food service. This does play a critical role in patient satisfaction and recovery, as well as quality, temperature, and timeliness significantly impact patient perceptions and compliance with the food safety standards. As far as operational challenges, delays in delivery and temperature fluctuations often led to dissatisfaction from the patients. There are diverse patient needs within hospitals, so the dietary requirements include medical, allergy related, or cultural or religious preferences. The role of the meal delivery staff. So they are the final link in the food service chain, and many do lack the knowledge of proper food handling and HACCP practices. There's also centralized tray assembly issues, so the temperature losses during assembly, and you have limited holding times from those insulated bases that the food is served in. Quick assembly and delivery are critical. And emerging solutions. So, a study found that bedside meal ordering systems do improve intake and satisfaction compared to traditional systems where you'd pick up the phone, call the call center, place your order. It just takes a little bit of time versus just being able to order right by your bed to a person. So, my methodology, this was an observational study. It was conducted at Memorial Hermann and the Med Center here in Houston, Texas, just to evaluate food service processes, focusing on tray temperatures, delivery times, and patient satisfaction. As far as the observation, it was observed during the preparation, transport, and serving stages of food delivery across 3 meal shifts over 2 weeks. And each stage or each meal shift, I would take 5 samples in the form of test trays. The temperature measurements, so the food tray temps were measured at 3 critical points. So while being prepared, I recorded it immediately after the food was plated. The transport temperature, this was recorded after the trays left the kitchen, but before they were delivered to the patient. And the serving temperature was recorded upon tray delivery to the patient, like right outside the room. The test tray system that they use is on a computer. And they're graded as either good or bad. Good meaning it met all of the requirements. Bad meaning one or all of the requirements were not met, meaning like if the milk was served hot, that's a ding. If the food was served cold, that's another one. So then that one would be graded as bad. The patient satisfaction surveys. Patients are issued a survey via Qualtrics. It's texted to their phone. They're discharged from the hospital. These are anonymous and include no patient information, so there's no way of kind of tying back who that survey came from. Those surveys also include an open-ended section where participants could include additional comments. And again, with my data collection, they were observed during 3 meal service periods, so breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and 40 samples were taken over 2 weeks. So the results on patient satisfaction were collected from the Qualtrics, and basically what I would do is if it was a bad survey commenting on the food, I would give it a bad mark. If it was a good, it left good comments about the food, I would give it a good mark. I took a total of 40 patient surveys that kind of highlighted food and not like their hospital visit. Results showed that 67.5% were unsatisfied with the food. but 32.5% were satisfied. As far as my test tray results, so remember, green is good, meaning it met all of the temperature requirements at each of the three stages. Red, there was something that was wrong. It received a ding, which means they failed the whole like section. So 62.5 were good, meaning all of the temps were within, the required levels. And red, meaning that maybe the milk was hot, it wasn't delivered cold to the patient, there was something missing from the tray, like a condiment, or, like the food was served cold to the patient. So conclusion, the findings of this research highlight several critical issues in the current food service process. So temperature maintenance issues. The data showed that significant temperature declines during transport and serving stages. Food often failed to meet desired temperature ranges upon reaching the patients, and this did lead to a dissatisfaction of about 67.5% of surveyed patients. Maintaining consistent tray temperatures throughout the delivery process is a major challenge in the current system. Um, Unfortunately, because I had anonymous surveys and test tray scores, I wasn't able to pair them together. So these results were mainly from the comments left from the patients saying, like, I was unhappy with my food or this food was terrible. Um, Though delivery delays do, in fact, impact food quality, the observations identified inefficiencies in the food delivery processes, including prolonged wait times between food prep and serving. Delays during transport and serving not only contributed to food temperature losses, but also negatively impacted the patient experiences, as reported in the patient feedback. That was something that was mentioned a lot, was like, why did it take an hour and a half for my food to arrive? Or like, why did it take so long to reach the call center? So there were a lot of comments about time. Strengths in staff interaction. So, despite issues with food quality, several patients noted positive interactions with staff and recognized their professionalism and care. This indicates that the human element of service is a strength and can be leveraged to improve patient perceptions of the overall food service experience. There were several comments, despite being the food being bad. The person who delivered the food was very kind, very sweet, checked in on them, made sure that they had everything they needed, and came back with something if it was missed. Um, so the high percentage of dissatisfied patients. So while 32.5% of the patients expressed satisfaction with food services, the majority, 67.5, were dissatisfied, and this is primarily due to issues with cold food, delivery delays, and limited menu options. So recommendations, we can implement thermal retention solutions, so equipping food delivery carts with advanced insulation or heated covers to maintain appropriate temperatures during transportation and serving. The carts that they would load the food trays in were not insulated, they were just metal boxes basically. There apparently are heated serving carts out there, but just not within Memorial Hermann's budget. We can optimize food delivery workflow, just streamlining the workflow by revisiting transport and delivery protocols. And this just includes ensuring sufficient staff coverage during peak meal times, reducing delays between preparation and serving, and introducing time tracking systems to monitor delivery times and identify any issues. We can also enhance training and accountability and just providing the staff with training focused on the importance of food quality and timeliness in patient care. Establishing accountability measures such as regular performance reviews and feedback sessions just to ensure adherence to these practices. It seems like it's not very common for these people to realize like how important nutrition is to the patients that they're serving. I did witness a lot of people like chatting in the hall or had earbuds in. I saw a person sitting on top of a food delivery cart. So clearly there was some issues with staff and their training and their accountability, which led to delays in delivery. They can also expand menu customization options, just introducing more flexible and diverse meal options to accommodate for patient preferences and dietary restrictions, as dissatisfaction with food choices was noted in the survey responses. Um, They had a very wide menu with a lot of options, but obviously, if you're on the cardiac diet, you could only eat anything with like a heart next to it. So I think the patients just wanted like a rotating menu or something, just changing it up, especially when you're in a hospital for a week or two or longer. You kind of get tired of the food. Um, as far as limitations, so we could conduct intervention-based studies to test the effectiveness of specific changes, such as the use of insulated trays or revised delivery protocols in improving these tray temperatures and patient satisfaction. Also, obviously, broader sampling. I only took 40 samples. I only looked at 40 surveys. So the numbers don't look great, but I think with a bigger sampling, like there might be different results, or longitudinal assessments. So, implement long term studies to monitor the impact of proposed changes over time. Also, assessing sustainability and identifying any additional adjustments needed to maintain improvements. Here are my references. I will am more than happy to send these to anybody. All you have to do is ask if you would like to take a look at my studies. Otherwise, thank you guys so much, and congrats on almost ending the semester. Bye.